Who is Becca Bloom and why is she so popular on TikTok? This luxury fashion influencer and fintech entrepreneur just started her page at the beginning of the year, and she already has more than 4.5 million followers on TikTok, and everybody loves her. So we're going to take a deep dive today and talk about who she is and why everybody loves her, because I think there's something happening here that reflects a shift in our culture, and I think it's very interesting to take a look at this.
So David bought me this hot dog purse the other day, and I've been struggling on how to style it, but I think we have the perfect outfit. I'm wearing this dress by Celeza London. It's giving sausage in the best way possible. It gets even better. To stick with the hot dog theme, I was thinking of adding this bread colored jacket to resemble a hot dog bun. We're headed off to a date night for drinks, so hopefully I'm not overdressed. I think the resemblance is uncanny here.
A hot dog purse. Becca Bloom is also known for her caviar breakfasts, having a private chef who prepares meals for their cat. She's also known for her Hermes hauls. I mean, we are talking the type of shopping hauls that could essentially pay off somebody's mortgage. And she literally at the start of one of her videos, I wish I could find this one, I forgot where it is. She starts off her TikTok by saying, my mom just got back from a shopping trip in Japan. Like her mom just flew to Japan just to have a shopping trip. She is the kind of figure that you would think most people would hate given the current climate about wealthy people and the eat the rich ideology. So she does these insanely unrelatable shopping hauls, but people love Becca Bloom. I have yet to see a negative comment about her, and that's because whether or not you like to admit it, people love a good aristocracy. People love old money. She has this almost old money vibe, which is different from new money. I mean, people just cannot get enough of her, and it's fascinating to me. This type of ultra wealth aristocracy, this ultra wealth TikTok type of content is really different from elitist politicians and the pretentious celebrities that pretend like they're one of us. Oh, they're just one of us. They're just like us. A little bit more on that later, but this is one of the reasons why I think people really like Becca Bloom, because she is not pretending. Okay, people like Becca Bloom bask in their richness, honestly and authentically. They are not trying to pretend like they are just like you. They're not pretending to be like one of us. And every day people are eating it up. I mean, she wakes up in a bed of money. She just wakes up in a bed of money, and you see that kind of dress and you're thinking to yourself, that looks like the Hunger Games. But there's something so innocent, naive, and honest about her that people actually like it. They don't see this and think that she's this pretentious, annoying, rich person that they just want to hate right away. I've had multiple friends send me her page out of curiosity and also just adoring her, even though she's insanely wealthy.
Can you try it on? Good. So you can obviously wear it like this, but what I like to do is the double. Okay, this is how it looks on. I am absolutely obsessed. We were actually offered this necklace back in December, but they only sell one per household, and my sister and I like to match. But guess what? She's not getting married, so.
One per household. They only sell one per household. Somebody in the comment section said that necklace is worth almost $200,000, apparently.
I was at the grocery store just now and had this revelation that today would have been my birthday if I was born today. Got my first ever sheet cake.
It looks really yummy.
You want to split it?
I'd love to, but beans, I don't think that's a sheet cake.
What do you mean? It's from the grocery store.
I thought it had to be a rectangle.
Really?
Aren't you supposed to cut in the middle?
Every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. It's a sheet cake now. We're going to add 6 candles for the 6 months I've been on TikTok.
I mean, she is so naive. He's like, I don't think that's a sheet cake. She goes, it's from the grocery store. She thinks that sheet cakes are just the kinds of cakes that are from the grocery store. And I see so many comments you are my favorite rich person, Becca. But to really get the full Becca Bloom experience, you have to see her caviar breakfast videos.
Plate my breakfast with me. Our chef usually likes to do a combination of Eastern and Western cuisine. We have some dim sum first off. I think this is beef, but I'm not 100% sure. Shrimp dumplings. I'm gonna have 3 of them. Been obsessed with this little mini corn in the cob. Couple of those. So like to add a little bit of caviar just for seasoning purposes.
There.
She also made some scrambled eggs, but I like mine hard boiled. I'm gonna have all these strawberries.
Just a little bit of caviar for seasoning, you guys. Just for some seasoning.
Our chef made a mix of traditional American and Chinese cuisine this morning. I'm most excited for these lemon ricotta pancakes. Next up, we have these chicken apple sausages. side of over easy eggs, which I'm going to season with a little bit of caviar.
Okay, you get the gist here, right? You guys, quiet luxury is out. Unabashed, unashamed, ultra wealth is in. We have been sold this eat the rich ideology for the last decade or so, which is very anti-capitalist, anti-wealth, anti-rich people. And the mainstream narrative is that we should hate rich people because they don't pay enough taxes, even though that has obviously been debunked. I mean, rich people pay the vast majority of taxes in our country, but we've been taught that we need to hate them because they just have too much money and it's totally unfair. And the only reason they became rich and successful is on the backs of poor people. And they're all just horrible human beings like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. These are just terrible, terrible human beings. So in the midst of this very popular narrative, it's become pretty mainstream. Everywhere you turn online, we're told that we should hate rich people because they don't deserve that much wealth. Nobody deserves that much wealth, right? So why do millions and millions of people love Becca? Especially the fact that you could see, it doesn't take much to see, that most of the people who are commenting positively on Becca Bloom's content are exactly the type of people who lean into that political ideology that the wealthy people are selfish and they've only gotten there by building off of the backs of poor people. And yet these are the very followers and consumers that really like Becca's content. So why is that? It's because no matter how much they shove the eat the rich ideology and narrative down our throats, people love a good aristocracy. They just love it, especially when that aristocracy is honest about their wealth. They don't pretend to be one of us like these annoying celebrities and elitist politicians. We're going to go over, remember the Nancy Pelosi ice cream freezer thing, Elizabeth Warren drinking a beer in her kitchen. They are desperately trying to convince you that they're one of us. Becca Bloom doesn't do that. She is just honestly ultra rich. Right. So aristocracy is considered the sort of highest class of society. And sometimes that even refers to people that have hereditary titles or a type of legal nobility. Of course, the first thing you think about is the royal family in Great Britain, which we obviously don't have here. In the US, we do not have an official nobility. We do not have official aristocracy. But there are certainly some families that have become their own dynasties, their own aristocracies, like the Kennedys, the Rockefellers. But these are not officially aristocratic families, and they actually, they almost like hide from the public. They don't present themselves to American society as if, yes, we are the ultra rich, like we are the aristocrats. They don't do that. They almost like hide. They don't want anyone to really know how much wealth they have. But behind the scenes, they're trying to grab as much power as possible, and it's very like sneaky and sus. Remember, the American Revolution was in part a rejection of aristocracy. The U.S. Constitution specifically noted in Article 1, Sections 9 and 10 that titles of nobility would be banned. And this reflected a huge distrust of hereditary privilege and hereditary titles. And the founding fathers believed that our republic deserved a break from this entrenched aristocracy. So officially, legally, we were taking a break from aristocracy and royalty. But even without these official titles, you had a sort of moneyed aristocracy that still found its way into American society. We're talking about old wealth in places like Boston, Charleston, New York. These areas gave rise to the first families, or the Boston Brahmins. But as time has gone on, we have moved farther and farther and farther away from any kind of official recognition of aristocracy. And in this postmodern world and our current culture, we are obsessed with the idea of egalitarianism. We have been told from a young age that it's all about equality, and we've now been presented with this new concept of equity. But you guys, I think we are all adults now, and we can admit that egalitarianism is boring. Okay, it's not fun to watch. It's not fun to consume. Marxism is ugly and unattractive. Sorry, I think we can all admit that by now. It's also not even natural. Like even in the animal kingdom, there is a type of hierarchy. There are certain classes, and we see that in human society, of course. But it's politically incorrect to acknowledge that there are certain classes in society, even though there is no other country on planet Earth that has the ability for upward mobility the way that the United States does. And I think this is something that is often forgotten. People like to complain about the ultra rich in the US and other developed countries, but we fail to admit that we're the only country, one of the only countries where you can climb the social ladder regardless of what type of class you were born into, regardless of what kind of home you were born into. And remember, this is actually quite rare when you step back and look at the entire world. For example, India. There is a caste system there that still very much exists. And in a lot of these castes, if you are born into a certain caste, there is no way you can move up out of that. You cannot climb the caste. You cannot marry out of your caste. But that's not the case for a society like America. Regardless of the family that you were born into, you can move up in society if you want. And it's interesting because I think that's kind of what Becca Bloom represents in a way to people. Like, even if people can't understand it or articulate it, she's not born into one of these like aristocratic families. She wasn't born into the Kennedys or the Rockefellers or the Rothschilds. She's the child of immigrants who came here and they made it big. They worked in the tech industry. They built and created jobs for a lot of other people, and they created products and they created wealth for society, and they gained a lot of wealth for themselves and for their family. And despite how much society wants you to desire egalitarianism, there is something quite inspiring about that. Like, nobody doesn't like a good story of an immigrant family coming over here and just being successful because they created something that delivered something to our society. So Becca's parents are pretty private people. And she said when she first started her TikTok, which was only in January of this year, she said, my parents are pretty private people, so I want to respect their privacy. But we know that her parents are Simon Yiming Ma and Heidi Chu. So in 2000, they co-founded Camelot Information Systems, which is a China-based IT and cloud computing company. A decade later, in 2010, Camelot went public on the New York Stock Exchange, and Becca was actually there to ring the bell to celebrate that moment. And in 2014, Ma took the company private again. So Becca grew up in Atherton, which is a small and extremely wealthy town about 45 minutes south of San Francisco, where like 75% of the population is white and 23% are Asian, which is a huge percentage compared to the rest of the nation. She attended the prestigious Menlo School, and she was apparently a science whiz. That's where she launched Study Pal, which was apparently a peer-to-peer tutoring platform. Later, she graduated from USC's Marshall School of Business. She's an entrepreneur who works in fintech. And that's a mashup of the words financial and technology. At its core, fintech is any app or piece of software or technology that helps people or businesses manage money digitally. So think like Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, things like that. So she just got married to a Canadian entrepreneur who graduated from the University of British Columbia and now works in software development at Amazon. He proposed to her on a boat in Positano. And I mean, their wedding was, oh, look, he's shedding some tears. Their wedding was obviously beautiful, stunning, like absolutely beautiful. I think they've been together for about 5 years. She was sharing some of the photos on TikTok and Instagram, and it was absolutely stunning. She was sharing some behind the scenes information about how it was actually thunderstorming that day, but it ended up being some of the most beautiful photos. Her dress is beautiful. She, of course, had a couple of different outfit changes. She's just very ethereal and gorgeous, and you just can't help but love her. There's something a little bit innocent and naive about her too. So this ultra rich little princess, the one who does all the Hermes shopping hauls, we're told by society that we should despise her. So let me tell you again why people love Becca so much. She does not pretend to be one of us. She does not feign relatability. She doesn't act like she's just like you and me. And there is something so refreshing and honest about that. And one of the things I was thinking about is, these elitist politicians and these elitist celebrities that we really don't like, we dislike them because they patronize us, and they think that we're so stupid that we're going to believe them when they put on these dumb displays of being relatable and just like us. I mean, think about the Kardashians. There was this episode of their reality TV show where Kris Jenner and Kylie, I think it was Kylie, they went to the grocery store. They were like so excited to go to the grocery store. They're like, we're going to be just like you. And the entire scene was so awkward and uncomfortable because these people obviously never shop for themselves. They don't go to the grocery store and try to and shop for the same things that we shop for. Remember that famous scene of the Kardashians show when Kendall Jenner tries to cut a cucumber because she's trying to be like, oh, I can do it myself because I'm just like you guys. I know what I'm doing. And she had no idea how to cut a cucumber. So then you have Becca Bloom getting on TikTok and being like, this is what my private chef made for us this morning. I'm going to plate my breakfast. I'm also going to plate my cat's breakfast that my private chef made for my cat. There is honesty in that. She's being forthright about her lifestyle, and there's an authenticity in that. We're sick and tired of these rich celebrities pretending they're just like us. There's actually something insulting about it. Like, you think I'm going to believe you when you try to convince me that you have the same life as me. Like, there's something that's refreshing and honest about this escapist content where you have this ultra rich person like Becca just showing us. She just spent like $300,000 at some luxury fashion store, but she's just showing us her haul because this is her actual life. And then you think about the elitist politicians like Nancy Pelosi opening up her freezer to try to be relatable, but it totally backfired and ended up, this was during 2020, if you don't remember, it ended up totally backfiring.
Speaker Pelosi, what have you found? What are you going to share with us from your home?
Chocolate.
Really?
Chocolate candy.
Oh, wow.
And this is something you can get through the mail.
Okay.
Run out.
So don't forget, this is during the pandemic when the elitist politicians shut everything down and they said, this is for your safety. You need to stay at home. Thousands, tens of, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people were out of work. They couldn't make money. So they're trying to convince you through this relatable content that you need to stay home because that's where it's safe and you can enjoy your life at home. I'm going to show you the little things around my house that bring me joy at home that you're going to relate to. Here is my ice cream full, my freezer full of artisanal ice creams.
Oh, my. Wow.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here.
See, I've always felt a
This is what they want you to believe, that these elitist politicians are just like you and me. They love ice cream like you. Meanwhile, a pint of Jenny's costs like $9. This stuff is insulting. Stop patronizing us. Be honest, Nancy Pelosi, that you are worth. How much money are you worth now? The latest estimate is that you're worth like $400 million. And you want us to believe, oh, I eat ice cream just like you. I like to go to the grocery store and get Jenny's. Give me a break. It is insulting to my intelligence. And then there was Elizabeth Warren in her kitchen drinking beer. Like, this is obviously a woman who's never had a beer in her entire life.
There we go. I'm glad for everybody who's joining this video. It's great to hear from you. Hold on a sec. I'm going to get me a beer. Hey, Glover, my husband Bruce is now in here. You want a beer?
No, I'll pass on the beer for now.
You sure? Okay, say hello.
Yes.
So, this is my sweetie.
Hello.
He's the best. And I'm crazy. I love you too. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
I'm glad you're here.
Enjoy your beer.
Thank you for being here. Guys, I've only been married 5 years in my life, but my husband and I have never ever said to each other, thank you for being here in our own kitchen. It just reeks of this desperate attempt to be relatable. And it is so fake and it is so phony and it is so deeply unrelatable. They're trying to appeal to us peasants. They want us peasants to know that they live life just like the rest of us, like we're little children that can't handle the truth. And the truth is, these elitist politicians and these elitist celebrities, like, they don't live like us. They don't live anything like us. And that was especially clear during the pandemic when they were locked in their mansions with their private staff and their beautiful pool and beautiful many acres of beautiful grounds they can walk on every day. This is why Becca Bloom is refreshing. She's not trying to be anything that she's not. She is herself. She is an ultra rich princess who loves to do luxury shopping hauls. This is the kind of honest escapist content that we all need. It's almost like refreshing for our souls. I mean, think about the era of like Pride and Prejudice, right? This is the time where rich people like Mr. Darcy's character, for example, he would hold these balls. He would open his home for tours like it was a museum so people could come see these statues and the art, you know, to essentially show how rich he is and show how beautiful his grounds were. Back then, that kind of aristocracy was honest. They were functioning in society as rich people. They were not trying to constantly cater to this egalitarian message and this Marxist ideology that you're not allowed to live your normal rich lifestyle because it's offensive, it's insulting to the little people. And it wasn't politically incorrect to just be like, yeah, I'm rich and this is my life. So I think this is just another example how we are moving out of the woke, politically correct era where rich people are not allowed to be rich. We actually do want something that is honest. We do like to see rich girls like Becca Bloom go buy a rare Hermes bag that costs like basically how much your apartment costs or could pay off the rest of my mortgage. We are done with this unrelatability, like pretending like you guys are just like us. You're not. And that's okay. So that's my take on the popularity, the ever rising popularity of Becca Bloom. She's got over 4.5 million followers now. I really think people are sick and tired of the lies and the sort of half truths that are fed to us about rich people. We know you're rich. We know you wake up in a bed of money. Just show us the good stuff. Just show us the shopping hauls and the private chef food and the trips around the world that you're taking on your private jet. That's all we want to know. Just be honest, okay? Just like, the Kardashians, just be honest about the surgeries that you've had. We would probably respect you more for it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you like Becca? Do you find her to be annoying? What do you think? Do you think we're moving out of this politically incorrect phase where we're not allowed to say that rich people live differently than we do? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and let me know what you want to see on the next video when I do another deep dive. See ya.